Well, there's certainly some alarming warnings happening around the Camperdown area, particularly around the Coria and of course the Camperdown Lismore Road. I'm joined by Dave Stevens, the incident controller in charge of that fire at the moment. Dave, thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
What's the latest information you can tell us about the fire? I know there's been another warning issued just recently. What's happening there?
Well, probably from about this evening, we're about 8:15 now. The fire's changed direction. It's heading towards, it's sort of heading in an easterly direction. So we had an emergency warning out for Lismore Township itself this afternoon or this evening, and that's now the threat has diminished there. So as the winds drop out this evening and the fire's heading in its northeasterly direction south of Hamilton Highway, we're trying to get that wrapped up and then consolidate it tonight and tomorrow and over the next few days, and then start working on some of the loss assessments and remedying them and going to transition to recovery.
So at the moment I see there's 62 appliances on the ground. I know you've been getting some air support as well.
That's correct, yeah. We had aircraft this afternoon, but the problem we had with competition for resources around the state, and then some of the aircraft got grounded, so that made it a bit hard for some of the requests we had in, but as always, the aircraft did a really good job to support the ground crews and the operations.
And just on that note, Dave, you mentioned that you've got to do some assessments and things like that. Has there been any reported losses or any injuries? How is the communities holding up?
Oh, look, unconfirmed reports of an abandoned house, there'll be some hay sheds, I believe, unconfirmed reports of plant and equipment in the agricultural sector, but I'm a bit concerned about the possibility of significant stock losses as well as infrastructure in the agricultural sector and some community asset losses. So until we can contain the footprint and evaluate it properly, it's going to be hard to know.
And what's challenging the firefighters on the ground at the moment, mate? What's the big concern that's leading to a lot of these evacuation warnings and things like that?
Oh, well, the day was the risk. It had been from the word get-go, and then to put fire in the landscape, and it went pretty hard. And then with the heat out in the field and the wind, we had a lot of trouble with firefighter fatigue, and we had a few people with heat stroke and the like. And now we've got the ongoing issue with fatigue and impact of the community. And of course, a lot of the firefighters that go to these events are local, so a lot of them will have been impacted them personally themselves and their communities. So they're trying to do CFA stuff, CFA business, and as well as look after their own family and friends and business well-being.
And what about the resources at the moment, mate? I know that there's a couple of emergency relief centres open. There's a couple of places that people can go to if they need to. I'm not sure if you're across that. We're going to speak to Corangamite Shire Mayor Kate Macon shortly, but what are some things you can tell the community at the moment as far as seeking support?
Oh, look, go through the LJs, absolutely, and the things will be tailored to suit the needs of the community. And look, as always, the LGAs have been really good and supportive, particularly with the relief centres and everything else they can do to support the communities. And probably people just need to give us some patience and a bit of tolerance and leeway with traffic management points and round towns with fire trucks and plant equipment and fuel. So there's a lot to take place yet before the community gets back to somewhere near normal.
Has there been any townships impacted yet, mate? Is the fire holding containment lines at the moment?
Yes, it's holding containment lines that we're going in this evening. We hope to have the footprint pretty well stamped down. This afternoon on the southwest change, we had the footprint held, but then of course with a blustery southwest change, the fire took several runs to the northeast and went pretty hard in some pretty rough country. And the teams in the field and the air and plant equipment did a really good job.
Do we know roughly how much, I guess, acreage or hectares it's burnt through?
No, I haven't got those figures in front of me. That'll be all mapped out tonight and in the morning, and that'll become evident during the course of tomorrow.
And I know there's obviously another incident happening in the Otways. That's also in our region as well. You're not the incident controller for that, but do you know how that fire's looking at the moment? How are the resources going? I know it's been getting really pushed towards north of that Otway ranges. What's the latest down there tonight?
Look, I can't comment on that.
Yep.
We've had a handful with this job, so I know they've got issues like we all have.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Look, I really appreciate your time tonight. Is there any other updates expected throughout the night? Well, what can we expect from a community standpoint coming from the Incident Control Centre tonight?
Look, during there'll be a shift change tonight in the Incident Control Centre, and they'll just sort of keep a handle on what's going on, and the warnings and advice will be tailored to suit the needs of the community and what we expect as agencies in the field, and then that'll take place, those changes tonight, tomorrow, and as needed into the future, and it'll all be self-evident through local media as well as with the EMVIC app.
Absolutely. And just, do we know what the initial cause of the fire was? Just wind? Is there been any indication as to what caused it?
No, look, we haven't got that far. I know it's being investigated. All fires get investigated. It'll be investigated thoroughly, and that'll become evident as well. But at this stage, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for your time, Dave. We'll touch base throughout the evening. Obviously, we'll be here doing some updates throughout the night, written, and if we need to, we'll do some more video updates as well. All the best to you and your team. Obviously, protecting our communities. The CFA are just absolute legends, and I applaud you and your team, and I hope everything gets brought under control nicely and the fire behaves itself overnight.
No, good as gold. Thanks for your time.
Incident Controller David Stevens, obviously overseeing the fire north of Camperdown. You're watching a special Southwest local news update as we bring you the latest information regarding the fires on the Camperdown-Lismore Road. I'm now joined by Corangamite Shire Mayor Kate Macon. Kate, thank you very much for your time. And this fire is certainly causing a little bit of concern.
Yeah, so this fire started about 2 o'clock today. We're actually in a council meeting when we found out about it. But yeah, causing a little bit of concern, but I can announce to you tonight that we've opened the Emergency Relief Centre at the Derry Alum Hall, the community hall in 74 Main Street in Derry-Alum. Really important, if you need to evacuate, please head to there. That's the Emergency Relief Centre that will be staffed by councillors, and you'll need to go there if you're wanting to leave your property and if you are told to leave your property.
Obviously, there's been lots of evacuation orders at the moment, or suggestions to leave, and it's even got to the point now where it says it might be a little bit too late. Had a good chat with the CFA incident controller just before, and they're hoping to try and make some headway overnight, but the wind change earlier today certainly caused a little bit of concern for crews on the ground.
Yeah, that's right, but we're just asking everyone to follow the Vic Emergency app, follow the community. If they are asking you to leave, please leave your property. It's the safest option, and make sure you go to that Emergency Relief Centre in Derry-Alum.
Has there been any reports of road closures around the area? Is there anything else the Shire needs to get across to constituents living around that area?
There is some power outages at the moment. I'm presuming there is some road closures, but I haven't looked. But so please jump on the apps, the Vic Roads app, the Vic Emergency app, and just check your travelling before you leave your property to make sure the safest route out of your property to get to Derry-Alum, to get to that Emergency Relief Centre. But yeah, thank you to all the CFA volunteers who've jumped on those trucks again, fighting this fire. You often leave your own properties behind to get on that truck and fight these fires and make sure everyone else is safe first. So thank you to all CFA volunteers.
Yeah, here, and I know there's about 62 appliances on the ground at the moment, still working on that. Plus there was some aerial support today. Look, it's just amazing, isn't it? You know, these are small communities that are living around that, I guess that Camperdown-Lismore Road area, and yet heaps of resources working to contain that fire front.
Yeah, that's right. And they're filling up the helicopters and the aircrafts from the Cobden airstrip. So that just shows how important our infrastructure in Corangamite is, and having that airstrip with us so they can quickly fill up and continue water bombing that fire out there just north of Camperdown.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time, Kate, and let's hope that these fire crews continue to make some headway, and we'll hope we can actually get some updates throughout the night. Obviously, we're here doing some video updates if needed, as well as written updates on our page. So no doubt if anything changes, we'll jump back on and inform the community. So thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you, Liam. But just check the websites, check Facebook, check the socials. Everything's updated on that, and definitely check the Vic Emergency app.
Corangamite Shire Mayor Kate Macon there, and now we're going to return to Zoom again, where I'm joined by Jordan Oliver from Powercor. Jordan, thank you very much for your time, mate. There's a number of outages affected by the fire. What have you got for us? How are we tracking across the network?
Good evening, Liam. Yeah, look, it's been quite a day. Now a little bit after 9:30 at night, and we've got around about 21,000 customers off across the Powercor network. In your patch, certainly the one of our power lines in the Otways has been impacted by the fires down that way. We've got around 1,700 customers off between Colac and Apollo Bay there. So places like Jellybrand, Carlisle River, Lavers Hill, that sort of western part of, I suppose, the Cape Otway area is impacted. And we were expecting this, and we pre-positioned a generator down at Apollo Bay to make sure we can keep on the centre of town there, no matter what happened with these fires. Of course, there's two power lines that come from Colac down to Apollo Bay. And we were unsure as to what impact this fire would have, whether it would hit one, whether it would hit two. We weren't sure, so we wanted to make sure we positioned the generator and did everything we could ahead of time to, do everything we could to keep the community on.
And of course, other fires burning around the area, around the Camperdown, and of course Lismore area. I know there's still some watch and acts active. We've just spoken to the incident controller before, and of course the Corangamite Shire Mayor and Kate Macon. There's some emergency relief centres being announced. How are we looking around that Camperdown, Lismore area?
Not too bad at the moment. I believe the Lismore fire, we better timestamp this. Yeah, as I'm speaking now, around 9:30 at night on what is it? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Thursday?
Yep. It's a bit like that.
Yeah, it's been one of those weeks. We've only got a handful of customers off there. Some of the outlying power lines are impacted by that fire, but we're not talking big numbers at this stage. So yeah, fingers crossed it stays like that.
What about the state generally, mate? It was a pretty hot day. We got up to sort of 47 degrees in some places. How did the network hold up?
Look, it held up pretty well, and it still is. I mean, like I said, we've got 21,000 customers off. To put that into perspective, Powercor's got something like 930,000 customers. And when I say customers, I'm talking about power meters here. So buildings with a meter. So that's how we sort of talk about our customer numbers. But so we got 21,000 off. We've had a fair few outages in Melbourne's western suburbs, some outages up west of Bacchus Marsh and towards Ballarat, some outages in the Macedon Ranges. And a lot of these are fuse activations, and some of these are things like we've actually had a car crash, we've had trees over lines. So we've had sort of what you might call routine power outages, in addition to any impacts which we see with the heat, which is these fuse activations where, and I'll just explain that briefly. Basically, a fuse activates on our network. It isolates a small number of customers, so the larger number of customers stay on. Yep. So that's kind of how that works.
And of course, the best way for people to keep updated is always the outage map. It's always updated. It's always live. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's right. That is live. It has estimated restoration times. A really good one too is our text message alert service. So, if people who their name is on their bill will automatically be receiving our text messages. But if you wanted to check on an elderly relative or, somebody a family member who lives at a different address, you can actually sign up to get notifications at their place on powercor.com.au. Some people find that really useful to check in on family and that sort of thing.
Well, thank you very much for your time, mate. Been a testing day for everyone. Still plenty of action on the fire grounds right around the state. 62 around Camperdown and even more in the Otways. Obviously, resources everywhere. Water bombing aircraft. It's been a day, that's for sure, mate. But no doubt,
been amazing.
It's
shout out to the firefighters. Everyone from CFA, Forest Fire Management, just everyone right through the fire services. They do a fantastic job. You know, a lot of them were looking to protect our assets as well in those fire grounds. So, you know, shout out to them. Brilliant job. Can't speak highly enough.
Well, thank you very much for your time, mate. And albeit via your phone at the moment, you're having a few issues at your own place. So we've got some information. That's the most important thing. I appreciate your time, mate.
Too easy, Liam. Good on you, mate.
Powercor's Jordan Oliver there giving us an update on how the network's holding up. Obviously still plenty happening across the Otways, but around the Camperdown Lismore area looks like the network's holding up pretty well. And mate, as he said, make sure you visit the Powercor outages website. And it is in fact Tuesday, Jordan. So it's a bit like that. It's been a day. But obviously a lot of people still out there in the fire grounds battling the elements. 62 appliances still around that Camperdown Lismore area and even more on the Otways. You know, we've obviously brought you some information tonight from the incident controller and of course the Shire. Make sure you utilise all the resources. Follow the Vic Emergency app, follow the Corangamite Shire on Facebook, and of course you can keep an eye on Fitzmedia's Facebook page as well. We will bring you any written updates as the night transpires, and if we need to come on again and give you some video interviews with the people that are in charge of, you know, looking after our community, I'll make sure that we get that to you as well. But for now, thanks for tuning into this special Southwest Local News Report. Please stay safe, look after each other, and bye for now.